shit, thanks, frames. Just here. Put it here and back up here.
Whoa.
And,
Showing my
okay.
artwork.
So, yeah. Okay, so, hello everybody, welcome to the final interview for the Brony Show 100th episode. Once again, I'm D-Pat, and I'm here with my man, Tsitra 360.
Hi, I didn't even know it was live.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I did that kind of abruptly. I just had to screw with the frames, and then I'm like, oh crap, it's already time. So, anyway, how are you, buddy?
Like I was saying earlier, I just barely got up not that long ago. It's 10 a.m. my time, but I got up around like 8:30 a.m. to get my cousin to work on time. Usually I don't do that, but she had no ride, so I'm already up and ready to go. So thank my cousin for having a job on Saturday.
Absolutely, I will thank her for that. That's currently made my life easy. So then, so were you at TrodCon at all this weekend?
No, I'm not there. I'm currently just at my house.
No, that's nice though. That's relaxing. What's the next convention you're headed to?
Well, originally I think Fiesta Equestria, but seems like my schedule's getting conflicted on that. But for sure, Everfree Northwest.
All right, good. We interviewed them earlier today. Yes. It seems like it's going to be a great convention, and I can only imagine that you, with this artwork that they're currently looking at, yes, this man drew what you're currently looking at, is going to sell like wildfire. So
yeah, I should sell that.
So you probably should. I think this one would be, a real top seller. So, why don't we get right into it. Now, with artists, I really like to start at the beginning. I have to ask, what inspired you to become an artist, especially of this caliber?
I was just walking down the street, and all of a sudden this bright light flashed before my eyes, and here was this art angel just saying, Tsitra, that will be your name in the future, but Tsitra, you must draw art. No, I didn't get that type of influence.
I would have been confused if an angel just came down and started calling me something weird.
Yeah. No, it's actually my own dad, in high school too. I took an art class as an elective course as a last-minute thing. I didn't want to draw. I hated drawing. All I did was stick figures at the time. And also, my dad surprised me with his hidden talent at drawing, where he was able to look at my Pokemon card and be able to draw it all on a large piece of paper exactly how it's shown. And turns out he had tried to apply for an art school way back when he was younger, but he got rejected because they thought he traced, but in fact he never did on those little art tests.
That's a damn shame.
So I guess there's a little bit of art bloodline in me, even though I started out as stick figures. You had to develop your art skills. It's not just come naturally.
Have you had any formal training?
A little bit, like our class back in high school, but it's mostly bell work. That's what we call it. Basically, learning about art history's past, which is important, but it's just way too much of it. Not enough drawing.
You're telling me you got this good on your own?
Pretty much.
Oh shit! I think everyone in this chat currently wishes they could be this good just by working at it on their own. Me, I couldn't. I'm more than slightly impressed with this. So, how long on average does it usually take you to finish something like this?
Well, what you're looking at right now in the live stream, my Discord at Fluttershy. That was a quick one. It was not that hard to do. It took 4 hours. Maybe
this
3.5.
Took 4 hours?
Probably 3. I had a long dinner break, so that didn't count, so 3 hours.
This took you roughly 4 hours?
Yeah, roughly.
Tsitra, you gotta stop, man.
But it goes from something quick like that, 3 hours, to something much, much longer, like 80 hours on my Pony Cyborgs illustration, where there's a lot more going on.
Which one of your works would you took the 80 hours, if you can name it?
The 80 hours I took, or similar to that, would be, well, the pony cyborgs.
That's one of my favorites.
The other robot pony illustration, um, Daring Do canyon scene. I'd spent a lot of time on developing the landscape. Let's see. And something that isn't digital or pony. It was a traditional drawing piece I did of it was like a collage of my uncle that passed away. And it was pictures of his lifetime when he was a kid, growing up, all the way to his old age. It was a gift for my aunt. That took 50 hours of pencil drawing.
I believe you also recently did a traditional Octavia, is that right?
But yeah, my first attempt with color pencils. It was pretty fun.
That was color pencils?
Yeah.
Tsitra, stop it. So, I have to ask, why MLP? What qualities of My Little Pony stood out enough for you to start this kind of artistic journey?
Well, I've actually been asking myself that question now since I've been trying to move on past MLP for a while, trying to do my own portfolio, my own original artwork. I need to get that started. But I'm still continuing doing MLP work. And the reason why I just keep going with it, since it's just they're just extremely fun characters to draw, and they're very adaptable for any kind of idea you may have. Maybe you go from happy, dark, gruesome, any range of emotions. They're perfect for it. And even the show gives you a lot of examples of the range of personalities that each character can express.
And the one we're looking at, I think, probably had the best, because, we're looking at the characters in total opposite.
Yeah.
That's really great. I always love looking at the work that you put out. Everyone does. Come on. So, now, that being said, you said that you have drawn a few things traditional, but that makes me believe that, obviously, that you don't typically do things traditional. So, what do you use?
For traditional or digital?
Excuse me, for digital.
For digital, it depends on the artwork and what I feel is appropriate for the job. I just have understanding what each program does, and I just use that program's feature if it's called for. In this case, Fluttershy is a mix between Photoshop CS6 and Corel Painter. I sketched it up in Photoshop. I laid down the base colors in Photoshop, and then I pulled it into Corel Painter, and it felt like the coloring uses for Corel Painter felt natural for what I was trying to accomplish with Fluttershy. And I typically use Corel Painter for the hair. It just feels so much easier to do. Then I bring it back into Photoshop and refine the details and add in special effects like the glowing transformation. And so it's just a mix between the two. Sometimes I use Illustrator CS6 for vector type work, or I use Sketchbook Pro for line art illustrations. So it's just what program I need, I use it.
That's very impressive. How do you generally discern that? How do you think to yourself, this program would be superior?
It's just all personal preference and experience over the years. I know Photoshop like back of my hand. Corel Painter is still fresh and new to me, and so is Illustrator CS6, but even though that one's starting to become more comfortable with me. So it's just, generally just whatever I feel is right at the moment. It's not, I don't have a little guidebook on the side saying, use Corel Painter for this type of illustration and color theme.
You should make one for us. So, now, you have told us about some of your traditional and digital works. Now, are there any other artistic mediums you've used? You told us about colored pencils and digital. What else have you tried in the way?
I tried inking, where it's just basically line art drawing, traditionally. I use the same pen brand Andy Price does. In fact, he told me what it was and showed me what it was. I was like, oh, I saw that at stores. And wow, the pens are pretty awesome. I have a whole drawing book filled with line drawings. I think I even showed you it in person at Big Apple PonyCon.
You did.
And I just filled out the book in that style. And I'm already on sketchbook number 3 with these little line drawings I had never shown online yet.
What was it you showed me at Big Apple Pony? I believe there was a particular sketch.
Was it Daring Do?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was a full-page illustration where there's a lot of black line going on.
Right, right. Yeah, that was it.
That one was on hiatus for a long time until another convention. Actually, it was that very same one where I showed it to Andy Price, and he looked intrigued with it. And in fact, he gave me a little bit of critique how to improve it, and I followed up on it, and wow, it improved the thing a whole lot.
Oh my gosh, we have some Abe rage in the chat, man. Everyone is jealous of you. Everyone. The pony everyone wants to be, bro.
Oh. I don't know how to respond to that.
It's okay. He does this sometimes. Anyway, so now what tools do you use for your digital work? Aside from just the programs, I mean.
Well, it seems a lot of people ask that type of question. Basically, the more generic version of that question is, what brush do you use? Or what setting you have that brush at? Again, it's just all experience and personal preference. You have to play with the brushes yourself, understand brush settings, and
I'm talking more about the hardware.
The hardware. Well, to finish up what I was talking about earlier, basically the hard round brush tool is the main brush I use with that for little details or broad details. But for hardware, I use a Wacom tablet Intuos 4 currently. Eventually I would like to get a Cintiq, but I don't have that kind of cash.
I thought it was you that had like the table-wide Cintiq.
No, that's probably every other artist out there.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe it was JJ or Slugbox I'm thinking of.
Oh man, it's raining and I can smell it from in here. It smells good. Oh, sorry, my mind's just talking.
No, it's fine. It was storming here for like the last 3 days, and now suddenly it's the sunniest it could be. So I wouldn't worry about it. So anyway, let me step off the art for just a little while. Let's get into some of you. Now, my first question, the one that everyone really likes, is what got you into My Little Pony? How did you discover the actual show?
Well, this is one of my favorite stories. I like telling time and time again. I don't know if you can remember it. It was back. It was back in March 2011. I was just browsing YouTube randomly, and it was under suggestions. I was watching a lot of cartoon PMVs type related videos, and one of them was Pony. And from the thumbnail, I can tell that the characters were extremely different than I remember them. Curiosity gets the better of me. I was just completely baffled and confused. Like, what is this show? So I searched it up, and the first episode I saw was Bridal Gossip. And, oh man, I laughed so hard on that. In fact, the Fluttershy with the deep voice scene, I had to pause it because at first, for a long time, I thought they had Fluttershy as some sort of female-looking guy. I was trying to figure out, how is this a guy? It wasn't until the end of the episode I realized what was going on. Then I watched the whole what was available at the time of season 1 from beginning to end, all the way through on that same day, and I got hooked on it. And I showed it to my sister. I showed it to my parents. I showed it to my friends. I was no closet brony. In fact, I didn't even know what that term was until I drew a little tiny Rainbow Dash and then sketched up on DeviantArt, and everybody was noticing it.
Everyone was kind of hopping on it, right?
Yeah, they were all talking about, like, welcome to the herd and Brofist. I was like, what are you guys talking about? I was completely oblivious to the whole brony phenomenon before March.
So, God, I just hit my head. That Rainbow Dash, was it like roughly something like this, or was it just a tiny sketch?
Pull up the Rainbow Dash for everybody else to see. Are you talking about the black and white one?
Do you have it? Did you have it somewhere?
It's on my DeviantArt gallery.
It's on your DeviantArt. Yeah, just grab for me real quick. Cause I can't go searching for it right now. So anyway, now another question I really like to ask is, what do you think about the Brony fandom itself? And please, again, be honest. We we have had people that really just outright hate the fandom, but like the content.
I had a little bit fandom experience before. I was into Spiral, and I was barely touching on the surface of that fandom and what it was all about. But I had the general gist of the type of people in the Spiral community was like. And the Brony community, it isn't much different at all. They're more enthusiastic in whatever they like. But it just feels much more like out there because we are in the fandom itself. As for the little squabbles, debates, and the issues the fandom creates upon itself time to time, honestly, I just feels like that's just appropriate for the fandom, and we're healthy doing it. We're not a healthy fandom if we don't have issues. It's just like marriage.
Yeah, I understand that. In fact, I even like that comparison quite a lot. That's brand new for me. So, now, that being said, do you have a particularly favorite part of the fandom? Because Lord knows there's a million different things to offer, and you've been a part of a few projects yourself.
I like the art community, what they can do. I love looking at different styles and how people can achieve that unique look on a character we all know and love. I love the music community. I'm real happy that that's pretty big. Even if it's a little bit slowing down right now, it's still quite active at the moment. I'm not in the writing community. I don't read that much. And let's see. Oh yeah, the animation community. I'm friends with a lot of the animators, and I love seeing how they build up these little tiny films piece by piece, and then get a scene on YouTube, and it goes up to 1 million views, and I'm like, ha, I've seen it before, all of you. And so it's just a variety of talents out there, whether it's in animation, art, music, writing, sculpture, plush making. I just love it all. And even the people who doesn't create, where they admire, view, comment, critique, I love that community as well, because they are a huge portion of the Brony community, and they keep the creatives going with continually making more artwork for them.
That's one of my favorite things about you two in that chat. You always send us your works in progress, and I'm just like, I see this before everyone.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. And the show bronies, like you guys.
Oh yeah, show bronies. You hear that, Circuit? We got Tsitra's blessing. We win. So anyway, you were talking about some of your favorite characters earlier. Who is your favorite character of the show, if you have one? Particularly.
It used to be Pinkie Pie. It's purely on the base that she's just a very fun, energetic character that you can pretty much get away with anything on the artistic side. But at the end of it all, I like AJ. Applejack's Applejack's best pony.
Why so?
It seems like the mods are the ones mostly talking here. Come on, there's 59 people. Let's get the communication going on the chats.
Yeah. Well, they're mostly listening, which is rare.
True.
But after, my questionnaire here is done, they're free to ask their own questions, so don't worry about it. I've only got like 2 more, if that.
Prince Lars is here.
Oh, there you go. Alright then. So, now, let me just step away from ponies altogether, because I know that you were just talking about how you were trying to step away from ponies a little bit. So, what kind of things do you like to draw aside from ponies?
What other shows that I've been watching, like Gravity Falls? That's a fun show.
Always.
Let's see. Generally, that's one I've been focusing on besides MLP. But I would like to try again into Marvel. I have a long ways to go on that since I never bought a single comic as a kid. So there's a lot of backstories to these characters I'm not aware of.
You probably shouldn't dig too deep. They have 100 different universes for all of them, so it's always changing.
I'll just go with the main more popular one, so that's probably be easier to do.
I think so. That sounds like a good plan.
And then non-fan art wise, I was wanting to develop my get back into dragon artwork again, and possibly pull that into Wheel of Fine and get some non-licensed artwork on the store. And be pretty cool if people walk around with dragon artwork that is mine around stores.
Well, you'd make our dear Artistic Abraham happy. I believe he actually yelled at you earlier just to get back into dragons.
Well,
sounds freaking amazing. Yeah, see? There you go. He's a dragon artist himself. Very good at it. But you just mentioned your work on We Love Fine. Tell me a little about that. What do you do?
I create the artwork. They submit it to the appropriate license. The appropriate license tells me it's awesome or tells me I'm terrible, I should go die. No.
Oh.
Or I just redo it. That's the actual truth of it. They just redo it. They get it online. People buy it, and I get notified I get immediately notified when the purchase is made. So,
do you gain any of the revenue?
Yes, I get a portion of the revenue. It's I'm not uploading the artwork like I'm trying to sell my own artwork per se, like direct. It's more like a job where I work for Wheel of Fine, and I get the portion of the cut from my work.
Now, is that your actual, or the closest thing that you would call a job right now, or do you have a profession you're currently working in?
Currently, it's my main focus. I'm trying to develop on it, and like I said, about building a portfolio and work on other aspects of art, not just merchandise, but like concept illustration design work that you never get to see. It's behind the scenes stuff for games, videos, movies, even book covers. That type of career in art.
So you should be a concept designer, basically.
Pretty much. I would like to try to do background concept illustrations. My skills in that regard is a little weak at the moment, but I'd like to develop it more and be able to get hired that way.
Well, I believe that you worked on some of the backgrounds for the Double Rainbow project.
Yes. that was the fun days, I like to call.
Well, I definitely think that that's something to put on a portfolio, though. That's a huge animation.
Yeah, if you guys don't remember Double Rainbow, actually I should say, if you remember Double Rainbow, the derpy scene with a muffin, I did that whole entire background. That's one of the main ones, mostly because it's longer than just 1 second.
Did you get to choose what you wanted to draw back then?
Yeah, we have this like list of available shots. We pick and choose which one, or we get assigned a illustration that's already been roughed out, and we color it. So either we rough it or we color it. Sometimes both.
So you did both with that?
I did both on the derby scene. I did half and half on the Twilight House scene. I did the entirety of Rainbow Dash crashing through the whole scene, and various other scenes throughout the film. I was not the only one doing it. It was like 50 other people. There was a lot of work that needed to be made.
So I should have guessed that you did the background with Rainbow Dash crashing through things. That was a lot of detail in that. These little things. All these little things.
Yep. And in fact, I was the one responsible for some of the little Easter eggs throughout the film.
That's what I thought. That seemed like you. Now, you were with me on the panel for the Double Rainbow project. You know, when we screwed up the audio.
Double Rainbow. Oh, yeah.
On the panel, yeah.
That was...
Because I was right along with you on that. I was listening to it, and I'm like, I don't remember this being so techno.
I remember that. See what happened, guys, at the Apple PonyCon. We were showing the first half of the show. The intro started, and this very dance style music was going on, and I was thinking, that doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like Man and Pony's work there. It sounds completely different. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then Twilight started talking and music was coming out of her mouth. Then I saw we had a problem.
Yeah. If it was Vinyl Scratch, it would have seemed more normal, but it was Twilight.
No, it was... Yeah, there's not a whole lot of music going on with her. Anyway. Alright, so that's the end of my questionnaire. Now, obviously, this is where we like to let some of the viewers ask their own questions, and if you have time for this. Good? Alright, I'm gonna say he's good then. Alright, so, chat, you know how it works. Italicize and underline. And give him a moment. It takes the stream a moment to catch up. Who is best pony artist? Tsitra.
I'm doing fine myself.
Let's see.
What drink would you drink if you could drink any drink, and when you spit it out, what does it turn into?
What?
That's what Artistic Abraham says.
Hey, what are you doing?
I don't have much knowledge of drinks or anything. Every time I go out to a BronyCon, I get apple cider or apple teeny just because of the heck of it.
Good man. Good man. We'll do that together at BronyCon, right? You're going?
Yep.
Very nice. Alright, solid. Now, this is a pretty decent one. How is an artist of your caliber still looking to grow? What do you feel weakest in?
I feel weakest in background illustration, even though I have a lot of backgrounds in my artwork that a lot of people like to praise, in the comments at least. I like to try developing more on the background sense. I want to develop my my depth more, my contrast. Definitely mounds. I have an issue of making it look like they're distant trees rather than just a furry, like a fuzzy looking mound.
Yeah.
Other things I want to try developing is being able to refine my illustrations much quicker. Like the illustration in the live stream that took 3 hours. But honestly, I felt like I could have done it in just one.
I truly don't understand how you artists do it. I can't imagine sitting there for hours on end just drawing something.
It's the patience. It's a skill in itself, being patient, but it's also, there's tricks to it. You develop your artwork piece by piece in a certain pattern. You get your sketch refined, your proportions correct. You lay down the foundation color, the base color. You build out the basic shading blocks on top of that. Then you refine the shading, and then you go into detail mode, and then you post-edit the illustration with refinements with lighting and coloring, and then bam, you're done.
Do you ever feel the time? Do you just kind of look at the clock and you don't know where the time went, or do you feel every minute?
I never look at the clock when I draw, and honestly, when I get a lot done, I look at the time, I was like, whoa, have I been drawing not that long? Or sometimes I feel like I've taken way too long on the piece, and I was right. I look at the clock, I was like, I can't believe I took an hour on the hair. What's wrong with me?
Has there ever been a piece that you were working on that kind of just dragged on?
The pony bots. I kept going over and over and over again to the armor. It just didn't felt right. I want to get the lighting correct. I wanted to look more metallic. It was worth it. It came out pretty good.
Good. Now, there was a question earlier that I thought was pretty good. What was the inspiration for your Wraparound pony shirt? I believe it was the Rainbow Dash in the Clouds.
It wasn't originally meant to be a wraparound shirt at all. I was watching a Red Bull documentary, snowboarding. I'm a snowboarder. I love snowboarding flicks.
Yeah, he loves his snowboarding.
I jump off cliffs. I really do.
Try not to jump off one that's too high. We want you around, buddy.
Okay. I'll just keep it 3 stories high instead of 5.
He says, all right, perfect.
Which I'm not lying.
I know you're not too. I know.
Anyways, it was called The Art of Flight. It was a very well done documentary / extreme snowboard flick. It was very artistic. There was a lot of motion and depth with it, alongside with the amazing tricks they were doing. So just watching that film, it was called The Art of Flight. I was thinking, I want to apply what I'm feeling right now, and what the emotion that flick put into me into Rainbow Dash, because it fits Art of Flight. So the feeling of snowboarding when you're up in the air is like you're just like above everything else, and like nothing can hurt you at that moment, and it just feels awesome to perform the trick mid-air. And I personally experience that every single time I go snowboarding. It's a pretty awesome feeling, and it came out pretty awesome. It was not that long either. It only took like 12 hours to make, and I submitted to Wheel of Fine as a print, and 1 minute later they were asking me, "This is amazing. We should put this on a all-over T-shirt." And I was like in the middle of making a normal T-shirt. I was like, "Okay, I'm going to delete that. Let's do it. Let's go with that." And this was quite a privilege because all-over T-shirts is not something I just like hit a checkbox when I'm uploading my designs or anything like that. It would have to be worked with. It has to be something that Wheel of Fine staff has to get into. And it took another 3 months to prepare the artwork to become an all-over T-shirt. At the end, it became a 50-inch illustration. To imagine that, it's like roughly the size of a door.
Sheesh.
So.
That's insane. Now, we actually have a fantastic question from the man who usually gives us excellent ones, Dealgrist. What advice do you have for artists who feel like they aren't developing and are discouraged? Be that from, maybe seeing a superior artist or just in a rut.
I'm going to give the advice that I have received. Well, not really received. I read in an interview once. Suck it up. That's pretty much it. You just gotta suck it up, keep pushing forward, and get that piece of artwork finished, or get that art study done, get that anatomy knowledge into your brain, knock it in there. It's just it's part of the process. Artwork is 10% skill, 90% hard work. Many times I've been down just like that. I was like, I'm not going to get this type of style done. I'm not going to get this level of detail in, or this type of illustration down on paper. But I just suck it up and I just push through and get it done. And in fact, it actually helps your artwork a whole lot more if you stress in that sense. You put more effort into your artwork and you improve your artwork that way naturally. But always make sure you share your artwork with other artists and non-artists and get critique and follow back and get your artwork improved. Not just advice, I'm saying.
Well, I mean, thankfully, through you showing us all of your works and progresses in that chat all the time, I've learned a few other terms for your artwork than just saying, "you're God."
Yeah. As you remember in that chat room, there's some pretty good critiquers in there.
Yeah. There's Kevin Sano, who's never shy about giving you what's needed.
And he never does it inside of the chat room, but he shares our work in progress with me, and I do the same thing back.
Well, let's see here.
My grandma just walked in. I'm in an interview right now. That's the benefit of living next door to your grandparents. They could just visit you whenever, or vice versa.
Yeah. We'll keep this. We'll shorten this then. We're almost.
Oh,
done
you don't
here
need
anyway.
to.
We're almost done here anyway. Let's see what else we've got.
No.
All right, let's see here. Now, this is a pretty good one. I actually know the answer to this one, but have you ever had a piece you finished that you didn't really like at the time, but it may have grown on you? In fact, a better question might even be, have you had any pieces that you just didn't finish, that you kind of started on and just felt like you just couldn't keep up on it?
Let me think. Let me quickly look past my artwork. I would say Sky and Earth, that Rainbow Dash and Applejack Racing illustration I made. It originally started as a line drawing. I was intending to just practice color illustration like a comic. Oh my goodness, I just do not like lines. It's a weakness in mine. It's color illustration. Realism is my strength, and I just went and decided to just paint it in a realistic style instead. And over time it grew on me, and I let it sit in my gallery, and And then finally I decided, hey, I'm going to finish this, and I got it finished. In fact, I have 5 work-in-progress illustrations in my drawing folder and 8 completed ones I have not yet uploaded on DeviantArt yet.
Well, that's exciting. Now, I have to ask this because I feel like I owe it to him. What do you think of Knife H?
Oh, he is an awesome artist. He doesn't give himself much credit. He has a little anime, look to his artwork. He's incredibly shy about it. So, but he needs more cred, and a lot more people need to check out his artwork.
I'll get him on here sometime.
Yeah.
I never know who's an artist in our chat room. Everyone talks, and I never know what anyone does.
Well, you should know that I am, since my name is Artist Backwards.
It's true. It's true. I was one of the few people that recognized that too. That's right, everyone. Tsitra or Tsitra, I'll never call you Tsitra, is just Artist Backwards. I'm not. Oh, let's see. Now, this is actually a good one. What would you say is the most helpful artwork critique that you have received, if there's anything you can remember on it?
There's several. Let me just pick a few. Like I said, Andy Price critiqued my that Dare and Do line illustration that nobody here seen but you. It was pretty intriguing. A lot of what he said is something I already know about. It's just what critiquing does is help point out flaws and mistakes that you yourself are blind to. The person who will be blind to the mistakes in their own artwork is the artist themselves. So that's why critiquing is real helpful, because you can get yourself your eyes open to see what's wrong with the illustration, because you're used to seeing that error, and it doesn't become an error to you anymore. Another great critique I got was on a drawing illustration a long time ago in terms of values and contrasts, and they put over a grayscale over my drawing, and it looked pretty weak. And since then, I've been trying to develop my contrast more. Like I say, you put a grayscale over my Fluttershy illustration, the contrast is there. You think with the bottom portion, with being color, you think that will draw more attention to eye focus attention, but the saturation contrast of the bottom portion of Fluttershy is actually lower than the top portion that's more grayscale. There is more contrast on the top portion of the image, drawing the eye towards her face with the highest amount of contrast in her eyes. That's composition talk right there, where it brings the illustration together, and you're pretty much manipulating your viewer's eyes in your drawing, basically.
It's wow, though, all that went so far over my head. Oh my goodness. Artists! I can never join in the conversation when you guys discuss it. All of it just flies past me.
I always like your responses on the chat when I share my work in progress.
Like what?
You always censor what you say, but that's like very expressive language.
D-pad, you'll never understand. No, Abe, I know I won't understand. Are you going to remember to bring my pen to BronyCon, says Trigian?
Tridge is a roommate of mine on a different convention, and he left his rifle pen at the hotel room, and I had it. He almost left his iPad, which I called him up before he left home.
You know what?
I almost had an iPad, dang it.
We really only have time for one more question, but this is an interesting one. If it even has an answer. What is the strangest or most memorable thing you've autographed?
Let's see, a T-shirt. That's actually quite normal. I haven't really had much odd things to autograph, but what people brought to me that they didn't buy originally from my table. Like at BronyCon, the person actually came directly to me with the 2012 Brony calendar with my artwork opened up, and he's like, "Can you sign this?" I was like, "Oh wow, you recognize my artwork." The past convention, Cloudsdale Con. No. These cons are starting to blend together.
Well, come on, you can't tell me no one's come up to you and just be like, sign my chest.
Technically one did.
Technically one did?
What was the previous convention? I was trying to remember.
That was...
Cluster Los Angeles.
Right.
My previous convention. I had a person already wearing one of my shirts asking me to sign it, so I grabbed a long piece of cardboard, put it underneath the shirt so I get some flat surface to sign on, then I got signed. So that was a little awkward.
Still, good on you. Good on you, that counts. Alright, well, I think that's where we're going to call it. Tsitra, thank you again for being a wonderful guest as always.
Alright, thank you for having me on the 100th episode of the Brony Show. You guys went a long ways.
Oh yeah, and we're still going. Now, I am exhausted. So again, Tsitra, thank you, and everyone else, stick around for more of the Brony Show. We still got more to come, and hopefully we will be able to show you the epic pony rap battle that we had planned. Just kind of got poorly delayed.
And be sure to check out my work on Deviant or just Google my name and find whatever social poison you have. I'm everywhere. Check out my work on Wheel of Fine. If you like prints or t-shirts, I have a variety of styles for you. Even if you're a closet brony, I have a Rainbow Dash shirt that doesn't scream pony, which is great.